had a whole video plan. I was gonna do a 12-hour readathon, and then I fell asleep. I needed those hours of sleep because this morning I was looking, it was bad, and I'm excited. I still have no voice. But we're here. Okay, baby. But I made it. 2025, baby. I made it. Today is my favorite holiday of the year. So let's go ahead and get into our goals for 2026. First reading goal of 2026 is I want to read 2 classics. I've read classics before, but it's always been like in a school setting or in an academic setting. I do feel like a lot of times people do not count African American literature as classics, and I've definitely read a lot of African American literature classics, but I do want to start dibbling and dabbling into some of the other things, such as The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I have started reading and I thought that was really interesting. Things like that. The next goal that I have for 2026 is I want to go to a silent book club event. Pretty much they have like these silent book club events where you get to go to a specific cafe, wherever they're hosting it out, and pretty much you're reading with a bunch of other readers, and it's just like a silent book club. And I love that because I love reading in group settings. I don't know why. Even if I'm silently reading to myself, like I like reading in group settings. So I think I would love to do that. To be reading 1 scholarly journal or literary journal per month. So this is something that I kind of started up back in, I believe, November, where I would read 1 scholarly journal, pretty much just looking up stuff on Google Scholar. I would find an article and I would read an article. I have found a couple that I want to start with in 2026. Stuff about like mobility, about the body in general. So mobility, meditation, things like that. I am very active. Like I do a lot, okay? In addition to being a reader, I am also an aerialist. So I do a lot of like strength training and functional strength training. And one thing that I really want to get more into and study more in depth is about the body and joints. Yeah, joints. I want to learn more about joints. Okay, not those types of joints. Okay, like your joints. Okay. Next reading goal that I have for 2026 is I want to read 2 books in Español. So if you don't know, I am actually a Spanish teacher. I love learning this language. I am not a native speaker, and I know that sounds like weird and crazy. Well, there's plenty of English teachers that are not native English teachers and they're teaching English. So it's very difficult to read fiction in your second language, and I am going to be challenging myself this year like no other. I have bought 2 books already that I want to read. First one is Cien Años de Soledad by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and then the second one is En el Tiempo de las Mariposas by Julia Alvarez. And those 2 books are pretty much on my TBR for libros en español que quiero leer. Next goal for 2026 is I want to start expanding my vocabulary. So I do want to start keeping new words lists in Spanish and in English, where I am just like keeping up with new words that I'm learning all the time in both English and in Spanish. Next goal that I have has to do with saving money. Okay. Who don't like saving some money? I like saving some money. I want to read more from Libby. I do love reading on my iPad. I love reading on my iPad. Okay, but I just recently canceled my Kindle Unlimited subscription simply because like I love Kindle Unlimited. I think it was great. However, I feel like I'm reading the same books over and over and over again. I feel like they suggest the same books, and it's getting annoying. Like I used to go on Nook and just type in free books on the Nook app, and literally it'll pop up with books for $0. Now don't get me wrong, the books aren't perfect. They're not perfect. Okay, baby. But they're free, okay? I want to start doing that, going back to my roots and getting back on the Nook app, getting back on Libby, and just renting books from the library and reading on my iPad way more in 2026, because I love reading on my iPad, y'all. Next goal that I have for 2026 is I want to read my shelves. Like, I'm tired of buying books and not reading the books. So I definitely want to lock in, and I want to start reading my books that are on my shelves that I have already bought. I am not necessarily on a book buying ban, but I do want to be more intentional about the books that I do buy, and I want to be more intentional about the books that I'm keeping on my shelves, simply because it's one of those things where you're constantly buying books and you don't read them, you can't keep up with them. And I find that being on BookTube is fun, it's great, it's wonderful. And please understand, like, this is my second BookTube channel, my second one, okay? So I don't want to fall into the trap of being on BookTube and feeling like I have to keep up with the trends, feeling like I have to keep up with everybody else, and then miss the real reason why I started this channel. I started this channel because I like to read. So at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to read the books that I have. I want to read the books that are available to me, but I don't want to sit here and keep buying books, consuming, spending my money, okay, and then not reading what I buy. So that is definitely something that I want to get into in 2026, just reading my shelves. Next goal that I have is I want to reread some of my favorite series. So this is something that I've been wanting to do. I finished a series of Unfortunate Events in 2025, and I just, after I finished that series, I was like, I really want to get back into reading some of my favorite series from childhood. So these will include things like the House of Night series, which I used to eat up in high school and in middle school. I'm pretty sure it's just, I'm gonna probably think it's trash now, but I don't care. Like, this series had such a huge effect on my life in my teenage years, so I definitely want to get back into reading House of Night series. I want to reread Harry Potter. Then I really want to reread the Hunger Games series. I really want to reread the Hunger Games series and start the latest one that got put out. I don't have the title right in front of me, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, the next reading goal isn't really a reading goal, it's actually a writing goal. That goal is I want to write essays in English and in Español. So I want to get back into the days where I'm writing essays again, and you know, just taking those scholarly journals that I'm reading about and also like taking them and applying them to or synthesizing essays that have to do with what I'm reading. So I used to be an avid essay writer, and I want to get back into that, and I want to do it both in English and in Spanish because it is a skill that I definitely honed back in college, which was years ago. Okay. So that was years ago, but I definitely want to get back into that and start honing that skill again, because being a better writer in both languages is actually going to make me a better teacher. So, and I want to be a better teacher, so yay. And then the last goal that I have for 2026 is keeping a digital reading journal. So my digital reading journal is going to look a lot different. A physical reading journal that takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of upkeep, and I don't really have that extra time in my life right now to do all of that. So that's not happening. I do have Milanote, and I love Milanote. I use Milanote to organize my entire life. Like, I do pay for Milanote. This is not sponsored in any way. Milanote, if you want to sponsor a girl, please hit me up. Okay. I do use Milanote, and so this year I decided, you know what? Instead of being cute and thinking that I need to have a physical reading journal, why don't I just go onto Milanote and create a reading journal through Milanote? So that is something that I have. I have some examples, but these are from books that I've read in the past where I have created a mood board for the book, and then I also have a document analyzing my thoughts or doing an analysis of the book, or just kind of writing down my thoughts on the book and writing down how I feel about about it. So I do feel like this would be a cool interactive digital reading journal, and I do want to kind of participate in the critical media journal that This Story Ain't Over, Jenny from This Story Ain't Over, what she was talking about, or for her challenge, which is the anti-brain rot reading challenge. But I don't want to do it physically. It's not going to be something I do physically. It's going to be something that I do meal a note. So stay tuned for that, because if it goes well, I will definitely be sharing it with y'all. What are your reading goals for the new year? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, y'all. I will see you guys in the next one, and Happy New Year! Yay!